met anyone, worked with anyone that didn't want peace, freedom, happiness. And so why don't we start there? And why don't we see how and in what ways that's already alive within us? Because then the goal achievement, the creating, it really starts to feel like the world is a playing ground, that we're doing it for the sake of fun, for the sake of itself. Not for the sake of, once I get that, then I'll be happy. This is actually the reason why I switched. I was an accounting major in college. And my sophomore, junior year, I switched to acting and theater, acting and philosophy. The reason was because the means and the ends are the same. Acting, playing to play. That sounds fun. I can get behind doing that for a living. Philosophy. One of my professors said the only reason anybody would study philosophy is if they want to live a happy life. That also made sense to me, versus study accounting, work really hard, and then when you're 60 or 70 and your health is shit and you haven't focused on your health, then you can enjoy your life. No, I went to in grade school. I don't know who can relate to this, but I remember when I was in grade school and high school, I'm like, man, I can't wait till I graduate just so I could finally get to do what I want instead of all this stuff that I don't want to do, that I'm feels like forced to do until 18. And then I got to college and I'm looking around and I'm like, wait, it looks like a lot of people are borrowing money from the government to do more of what they don't want to do, and then work as much as they can so they can live for the weekend and this two weeks of the year vacation to race for something else and something else and something else. When is it ever going to be enough? I just want to be happy. And so I had a choice point that sophomore, junior year of college. This was at the same time. This was, the first time that I actually made a decision for myself. This was the first time. I didn't ask my parents. I didn't have a partner at the time, but I didn't ask anyone for their opinion on what I should do with my life. And I was so bought into doing what I thought others, this kind of collective societal voice in my head that's like, well, I should, go to college and do this thing and the American dream. Did I really want that? No. And when I finally started questioning what I wanted, I decided, you know what? I'm going to follow my heart and give myself fully to that which brings the most fulfillment, joy now, and where I feel as though I'm giving my gifts and being of service. Because, some people, they have this idea. They're like, well, I'll just, whatever spirit, universe, God tells me to do, I'm just gonna serve, and I'm just gonna be of service. And they forget that they're included in that, because there's nothing excluded from what I'm speaking of. The what we are part of that. So to me, it makes perfect sense that if I'm really being of service, it's going to be enlivening. I'm going to feel spirit. I'm going to feel joy. I'm going to feel purpose and peace and presence. So that was my choice point in college, where I finally made a decision for myself and followed my heart. And my life has not been the same since. And a lot of the times, some of the times, that's what I'm supporting people that I work with on. They're at a choice point in their life where they're like, I'm ready for something new. I'm ready to follow my own path. I'm ready to follow my heart. And this is why there's not a cookie cutter kind of program or prescription that I have to offer for someone. To use the example of fitness coaching, eat these things and do these movements. I tried that. There's a small percent of people that kind of thing works for, and that's actually great. There's a part of me that works very well in that way too. When it's like, tell me what the thing to do is, I'm going to do it. But a lot of the time, when we start to do the thing, one, it's got to come from inside. It's got to come from within ourselves. So the coach or the mentor or the person that's being worked with is there to reflect and help elicit and have those insights come through questioning, for the most part. And then the other piece to this is, in each moment when we're acting on these things, new information is presented to us as a result of each action. And so what we want, or what our goal is, what our ambition is, might change. And that changing that, or discovering what we really want by going after what we thought we wanted, our goal, the roadmap, may no longer fit. If someone's like, I want to just use money, make $100,000 by the end of the year, and then they get to $70,000 and they're like, oh my God, this is not actually at all what I wanted. I actually just want peace. Well, the roadmap of actions that person has created for themselves, or that we co-created together, is going to look probably different when the goal becomes peace. So why not start there? Because this is where the roadmap is built. The blueprint is built from focusing on, I think I said this at the beginning of the video, what is the one thing, the most important thing that if you gave your heart, your attention, your effort to, it doesn't have to be some sacrificial crusade like serious thing either. Actually, it could be very lighthearted and joyful, if that's what you want. What is that one thing? That everything else would be more effortless, more joyful, more free. That if you mastered, if you practiced that, everything else would be more enjoyable, more you, more authentic. So that's what the blueprint is created from, and that's a living thing. That is a living goal. So this is why, this is a very long-winded answer to, is what I'm doing really more valuable? I've invested in a lot of mentors and gone to a lot of programs, and I do offer a distinctly unique way of doing this work, but I'm not comparing myself. And it's really, so on the question of, do I charge more? I definitely charge more than when I began. When I began, roughly 8 years ago, it's about double more. And I don't turn people down. If somebody genuinely wants to be served in a relationship, that's why I have multiple different ways. And I know for me, finances have in the past felt like something that I was constricted by, or, oh man, if only I could do this, or only I could access that. And although it does help, you know, I've seen incredible results working with coaches, and because when I pay attention, when I pay more attention to the thing that I'm focusing on, typically. I just don't believe that I don't believe in a paywall. Where in some clearly locked doorway, I could say, nope, you don't have the money, not going to help you. No, that's why I have a bunch of free resources, but also a bunch of different ways to be of service. So is it more valuable? It's different than fitness coaching. It's a different thing. And do I charge more? Yes, than when I began. I think that's about it. So, bro, I hope this answered your question and made sense. And it's getting really hot in this cucumber garden. On that note, 2 people, October, I'm opening my doors to work with one-on-one. That's between 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, depending on what the person wants and where they're at with what they want to invest in, for a leader who's working on living a life of service, rooted in peace and presence, power, joy, authenticity, for the greatest good, of course, which you are a part of. So if that's you, send me a message and we will talk about co-creating together. That's all I got for now.